Hello, welcome to a new tutorial presented by the SCHRDB. In this tutorial in Java, we are going to see loops and arrays. Now, the first thing to note is that we are going to see the loops in collaboration to arrays, but the prominent thing to see here is arrays. So the arrays that we are going to involve here is the first thing we are going to involve in arrays is how to declare an array. Unlike in C and C++, where declaration of array is very easy, in Java, declaration is much more difficult because arrays are not stored as in C. Arrays here are stored in classes and in packages. So when you want to call an array, let's say you want to create an array of integers. The next thing to do is to do this, to place the size behind and to declare the array name. Let's say I want to produce the matrix as such, a 1 by 2 matrix as such. Now if I have this array here, I can directly initialize the value of this array to this. So the method of declaring this array will be as such. I have this and then I have this at the end. So I can directly initialize the values to be 1. Example, I'm going to have here 1, comma, second 2, comma, second 5, 56, the next 7, the next 18, 98, and all that. These are the different values which are going to be inside the array. So I'm declaring an array which is going to be as such. So this array is going to have a space of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values inside. So I'm just declaring an array where I'm putting the values inside. Now in order for me to place the values from the screen into the arrays, or to declare values, there are two formats in order to declare arrays. The first format is by this method. So let's say that I want to declare an array which is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is the first format for me to declare this array. So it's going to be a matrix of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now there's going to be another format for me to declare this array in order for me to have these numbers, and this format will be using the loops. So here is where the loops are going to be involved. So let's say you have the for loop, and when you place a loop, you must always make sure that you place your counter above. So I'm going to have a loop with a counter I equals to 0. Place semicolon. Now when I have this, I place a for loop. In the for loop now, I want to declare this matrix. I want to declare the matrix above. So how do I declare the matrix? So I come up the for loop. I have in that my for loop, I say I is less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. There are 5 elements, but it's starting from I equals to 0. So I say I less than 5. So it's going to be 0 to 5 to 4, and it's going to be 5 elements exactly. So I don't want to lose the for loop because it's much more complicated. It's not complicated, but I prefer using the while loop. So I will say y instead. So y I is less than 5, then come out. I do this. When I have y is less than 5, and I'll say that I want to put in the different values. So I want to put in the different values 1, 2, 3 in this array. So the first thing to put, when the second method, this method is the first method of initializing, of declaring and initializing the values into a unidimensional array. So the second method is a longer method, and it's done by this way. You need to know that array are stored in classes, and to take a class and place into a main function, you need to place an object. So now you are going to do this. You place int, then you write this. It's a matrix. So you tell your computer that you are going to create matrix by writing this. Now you are going to allocate a certain space for that matrix by writing new int. Write new int, and now you write the space you want to take. You see that it's 1 2 3 4 5. Here you are just telling your computer that you are going to create an array, but here and the other array is of name matrix. You see, now I'm not going to put the same name as this name, so this one will be matrix 1, and this one is only matrix. So in this one, I'm going to, you see that the values, you tell the machine here that you want to create an array, and you immediately place the value in those array. And here you tell the machine to give you a space. You create an array and to give you a particular space for that array. So here you say you want that space to be 5. When you tell the machine you want the matrix 1 to have that space 5, now you come back, you can now do your int. So from here you can place different values. You know that I equals to 0. So while I less than 0, you place now the different values into matrix 1, that is above there, and then you do here I, you place I into it. As such, you have matrix 1 I. So matrix 1 I is going to be equals to, now you want to place the different values in matrix 1i. You know, when it's going to be 0, you wish that at that level this will be 1. So it will be I plus 1. So when I will be equals to 0, I comes down, it enters, is 0. At matrix 1, at the first value contains 0 plus 1, which is equals to 1. So as it's descending, you have I is equals to I plus 1. So this I equals to I plus 1 is going to add this I, the particular I here, which is 0 plus 1, and give it back to 1, and then going to go back up. So you see that the second value will be 2, the third value will be 3, the fourth value, and the end as fourth value, and there will be 5. So you have placed different matrix on it. So now the next thing to do again is now to print the values of the matrices. We have this matrix here and we have this matrix here. So in order for you to print, we are going to use again the for loop or the while loop. I prefer the while loop. We say the while loop. I'm going to print this one and this one. So when I do this type of printing, I do system out print the array is, I just place matrix inside it. I realize that this value is coming out, which is not the exact value of what I entered. If I do same with 1, I compile and run, I realize that the same thing is coming out, but not exactly what I am expecting. So I'm going to use another method in order to visualize this. So what method am I going to use? I'm going to use again another while loop, which is going to print each values out. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm coming down here and paste. Now I need to know that when I place my I here, I equals to 1, I is adding up at this point. At this point here, I will end up to be equals to 4. So I need back to reinitialize I to 0 for it to come back and enter into this loop and print. So I will say while I is less than this, so now it's going to print and not scan, because I know that it has already scanned the different values. I already read or input the different values. So I now want that there should be a system dot out dot print ln as such, and then you have this. So you have a system dot out dot print ln as such. Inside this print ln, I will now place different value. I'll write this, so the value will come as such. I want that the first value which comes is, I remove this, So I want that the values are separated by a space, a small space, and then I place the different matrices into it. So I have matrix plus matrix I. So matrix, I paste into it, I paste I here, I come out, I should separate this space here, and I put semicolon here. So when I have plus matrix I should go down and I do I equals to I plus 1 semicolon. So what happened is that I equals to 0 at this point, enter 0, it enters and give the value of matrix 0. At the point of matrix 0 is equals to 1. So the values will be equals to 1. It enters. So it come out and do. So it's going to print all this value, but I don't want that to be printed in a vertical line. So I'm going to remove this element. I'm just going to put print this so that it should be on the horizontal line. So before that, I'm going to first place a system out. The first matrix or the second matrix is, so I copy here and I come here and I paste. I'll write here that the second matrix, just come, alright, the second matrix is, I place here 2 dots. So it's going to come directly on the same line and going to read it the values. So I'm going to write again the first matrix. So before it, I'm going to initialize here I equals to 0 again for the second matrix. I'm going to write up here the first matrix. I'll write the first matrix still by copying all this. I'll copy, then I come into it and I paste. So here I'm going to print the different values of the matrix. Here I equals to 0, it enters, I less than 5, and then it goes up here and it continues. So the next thing to do now, in order for me to print it, I'm going to see what was the value. I see it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is second matrix. The second matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exactly as what I thought. Now let me print up the first matrix. So I'll first type here, copy this one, I'll paste here. When I paste here, right here now, this is the first matrix. The first matrix is, now come on the next line, and now first place at this point here, I should make sure that the initializer, the counter, goes back to 0. There's semicolon. Now when the counter goes back to 0, I should go again on the next line and say that I will copy all this, and then I'll come here down and I will paste. So when I paste it, I will now write all the values now of insert matrix. In this case will insert the matrix. Here was matrix, so in this case insert matrix 1. So I'll place here matrix 1, and in that case I'll place matrix. So I come here, I delete. Here I come, I take all this value, I copy. Here I come here and I paste. When I paste here, I have this different matrix. There in this case it's not matrix, but it's not matrix 1, but it's matrix. Here is matrix 1. So this is the first matrix. So here we initialize that the first matrix was this with matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the second case, we then went with the while loop and initialize the value as such, still with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the two methods of initialization. The first method is a simple method, and the second method is much more difficult method, used in still in initializing by using the loops. But you have to note that when you want to start with the second method, you must always note this line. So a point to note, this line must be noted, as being, you should tell, here you are telling the machine, that you want to allocate a space for an array, and you don't tell the exact location of the machine, does not give you exact number of the array. It's when you initialize that you have a space for the array. But in this case, you exactly tell the machine that I want an array number 1, and number 2, you tell him that you want the array space to be number 2 to be 5. So from here you can do your while loop and include each value into it. So when I have that, I'll compile and then I'll run. So I have this. In order to make sure that they should be on different lines, the first thing I will do is that when I come on this line, I will then have to do this. I do on the next line again, and then tap here, system out. I will first, so this is the first matrix like that. I'll come here and I do next line, then I tap still. I do that. When I compile and I run, it gives me this. This is much more beautiful. And now you have here the first matrix is 1 2 3 4 5, the second matrix is 1 2 3 4 5. So you've seen that the first method of initialization has given this value, and the second method of initialization the same thing. There are two methods of initialization in matrices. The first one not involving the array, not involving loops, and the second one you must place into you create a new object of the array and place into it. Then you use the while loop to place a different value into the arrays. So from here we are finished with the loops and arrays as seen in Java. Thanks for your kind attention.